Eli Rax, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the revival.
Ho. You guys know who this is. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes. And welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who it is. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full. And that's Speed, if you nasty. Man.
Let's go. That's
a new one. That's
yeah.
a new one.
I like that one. It's the whole thing there.
Gotta get that New York Joan. Let's go.
I see that. And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, aka Damn It Wink, coming soon. I just finessed that.
Maybe
I just finessed that right
maybe
there.
it is.
That works. You see how that works.
He preps. He doesn't even prep Jeff for it. He just comes up with a new version.
Never.
And of course, my lighting is shot, as you can see, Giants. You see this? This is live TV. This is what we do here. But shout out to you. Yes, you, the revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe, man. We can't do this without you guys. And guys, we have a special guest in the building, man. So we'll get to him in a second. But first, let's go around the room, man. How was y'all week, man? The Giants won too, so it should be all right. It should be a little cool. You know what I mean?
The Giants season was finally put to rest. So, I mean, you can kind of celebrate that in a way. Of course, they win. They win at the end when it's all for naught.
Of course.
But you know what? Like halfway through that, I was just like, you know what? I can see where this game is going. I'm just going to enjoy this. What can I do? I can't control any of this anyway. So felt good to beat the piss out of the Eagles and just watch them crumble. It's just a beautiful, like if we enjoy it when other teams beat them, I'm sure it's all going to enjoy it when it's at the hand of the Giants. So give me all that. How about you, Spiro?
Yeah, you know what? Like if it was any other team, I would have been even more pissed. You know, like I was like, of course we win the game that we don't need to win. You know, it's typical Giants. But when it happens against the Eagles, against the Philly fam, you know, with my actual fam being Philly fam, you know, it felt a little. It made it a little bit easier to bear, right? A little bit easier to bear. You know, burying them and let them crawl into the playoffs.
I can't imagine what it's been like in that marriage and in that house of yours, year after year of just getting the beat downs.
I'll tell you what,
I'm excited.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah,
it's a long time coming.
Wifey's a little bit more negative than me on the Eagles. She's like, this season's over. Everybody's well.
That's great.
They're going through it in Philly, so I don't feel bad for them though.
I love that. I enjoy that.
Hey, what we got going on today? Tell us.
At least for me, man, I'm going to skip me because I'm just excited, man, to introduce this special guest here, man, today. 3-time SAG Award nominee, co-star of HBO's Entourage, executive producer by Mark Wahlberg, if you guys didn't know that, just to let you know. Also, co-starred in Power, man, which is a 50 Cent show on Stars, man. We have the biggest sport nut in the building today, Jerry Ferrara. Round of applause, Ferrara. Forgive me, Jerry Ferrara. I did this right. I've been drinking, Jerry. Forgive me, Jerry Ferrara. In the building here today. Thank you so much, man, for joining us. We do appreciate your time. How you been, brother? How's everything?
Muted.
Got the mic.
He was probably being safe.
I was being safe backstage, trying to do the courteous thing. I'm doing good. Thank you for that intro. This has been a long time coming. We've been trying to find a night to do this. Kids went to bed early. Got a little glass out. My Knicks are on right now, whooping the Blazers. So, you know, it's a good night to talk sports and hang with you guys.
Let's go.
And I do appreciate that, man. We're gonna jump right into this, man. First off, what's the Knicks score? Because everybody loves to know when they stop here and watch this show, especially if the Knicks is on. What's the score right now?
You know what? I'm a little behind because, you know, I have to sometimes pause. That's the life right now. But you know what? I'll get you up to the minute. 61-39 in New York.
My God, dude, it's a blowout.
16 points in the first quarter for my guy, OG. So,
dude, we're going to get into OG. We're going to get into OG, man.
You know we're going to talk about that. That's the Knicks are
of course. But first, before we do that, man, before we talk about New York sports, I think people want to know who is Jerry, and they want to get to know the actor himself, man, because you came from a hit show, HBO's Entourage, man. Just tell me what it was like landing with that role, man, and how did you get the role, per se, man? I think the people would love to know.
Yeah, so, you know, I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Definitely not a place where there's a lot of actors. you know, especially in the 90s. So,
Yeah.
but it was more so for me always like a love of TV and movies that did it for me. You know, it wasn't, I could have easily been an editor or, I mean, I think I'm a writer sometimes. I just wanted to be a part of the process, you know? So acting was like something I'm not gonna say I backed my way into, but what I took to first. I moved to LA when I was like 20 years old. So
That's
a
a
long
power
ass
move
time
right
ago.
there.
It's a
That's
power move.
Yeah.
I think, by the way, I think I moved there with like $2,000. I had $3,000. I lost a
Yeah.
G the night before my flight on a game called AC Deucey.
You hit the post?
I potted
Did you hit
it
the
and I got the double. I got the double A. It cost me double. So I lost a third of my LA budget
Your
the
net
night
worth.
before. But you know, move there and just, you know, different times back then, you know, you were like a door-to-door salesman, you know, you're just going from audition to audition and I think I auditioned for Entourage probably 30 times, you know.
Wow.
They cast a pretty wide net. They were searching at first. They wanted the guys to be from Boston because of Wahlberg, and then our showrunner creator Doug Ellen's from Long Island, so he switched it to New York, and then they were going to go older. So it was a long process for me. It was like a football season. Like I grinded it out. I got to the playoffs and I got hot and
survived in advance, baby. That's awesome. That's awesome, dude.
I was 23.
You
this
were
is
like
the 20 year anniversary coming up, which
that's
is
wild.
Mind
It's
blowing.
that you are like the quintessential story. Like, man, you were East Coast guy, flew out West Coast. You know, lesser men would have let that AC Deucey deter them, but you got through
This
it.
is a sign. I gotta go work at the burger joint and get above water here.
You got through
well,
it,
I did
man.
work at I didn't work at a burger joint. My first job in LA, I worked at Boston Market, just slinging chickens.
Oh, there you go, man.
Don't sleep on Boston Market. Good food.
I love that.
Damn good food, by the way.
used to
Damn
have
good food.
one
No,
here.
come on, it's a New York thing, man.
But
That's
that's how
what
I
we do
put on
over
some
here.
weight, and I guess it helped for Turtle because I put on those pounds working at Boston Market all them years.
That's wild, man.
I love that story, man. That's just a ballsy thing to do. Just get up and go without having a real plan. You're a dreamer. You made it happen. That's just awesome. Love it.
You know, when I do it now with kids and stuff, I was way more ballsier as a young 20-year-old, didn't know any better. Now it's too much at stake, but for me, it was always, and I encourage everyone out there, like, I just needed to know. Like, if I was okay with failing, like I didn't look at it like I was going to come back to Brooklyn with my tail between my legs. I always looked at it like my family will still be there. My friends, and one of my best friends the night before I left when I lost the G, literally told me as we walked back to my house, he's like, "You'll be back in 2 months."
Oh, shoot.
That's love, though. That's love.
Yeah.
Did that spark the fire a little bit? Like,
I just never even thought of it once I left. I never coming home never was a thing. And Entourage did happen quickly for me. It was like 3 years in, which for some people that's really quick. For me, that was an eternity. There was some dark times in those 3 years. I never once thought about going back home.
So let me say this.
Go ahead.
How quick did your life change actually being on Entourage itself? Like, the show gets hot. You're Turtle now. Everybody knows you as Turtle. How did your life change actually once the show got pretty much popping?
You know, it didn't change right away. I mean, it changed because I didn't have to work in the restaurant anymore, right? But there's so many stages. You go from, okay, you get the part. That's great. You shoot the pilot, right? This is back in the day. They don't do it like this anymore. Shoot the first episode. You get paid like, I think I don't even remember what I got paid. It was more money than I ever seen in my life. But then there's like you shoot that and then it's like, okay, we'll let you know. So we waited like 4 months for HBO to decide which shows they were going to pick up. So I went back to work at the restaurant because I'm like, this show's not going to get picked up. And I'm not going to just like spend all the money they just gave me and not get a job. So 4 months went by until I think it was Wahlberg who actually called me, and which I couldn't believe that he had my phone number. And he was like, "Yeah, we got picked up. We start shooting in a month. Congratulations!" And from there,
did you throw your apron down like screw Boston Market and left? Like what?
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Good for you. Good for you.
But even still, like the first season definitely gave me some like financial stability. Then you got to sweat out. Are we going to get picked up for another year? But I think like critically, season one did really well. We got nominated for some awards, but the ratings weren't huge. If we were on another network, we might have even gotten canceled because the ratings weren't huge. And HBO at that point didn't have to really care about ratings. They were able to let a show grow. And it wasn't until we went off the air in season 1, and then it was like summertime, end of summer, and then they released HBO on demand. I don't know if you guys might be too young to remember when that shit first hit.
Yep.
So like every college kid that went back to school was like, oh, we got like every HBO show. And we were like the number one binged show on HBO on demand ever, I think.
Wow.
And from there in season 2, that's where I started like going places, getting recognized, and oh, you need a table? We got a table for you. There's 45 people in the restaurant, but we got a table for you. Like, oh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So, it changed a lot by season 2, man. And then it's just been a blur. I still don't feel like it was that long ago, but it's almost half my life ago. So,
yes, it's wild, man.
Which
crazy.
one of those main characters were you closest with, like Offset?
It's funny because it changed a lot. And what I mean by that is like, Kevin Dillon, obviously played Johnny Drama because we, once we got to like season 2 or 3, we had like an offensive formula. It was like all the business stuff, E and Pivot and Ari handled with it. And then me and Dylan, aka Turtle and Drama, would go off on these, if it was like Grand Theft Auto, side missions, right? We go on these side quests. And that ended up being some of the funnier stuff. I had a front row seat to that guy. That guy's one of the funniest people ever. So I was really close to him at first. And he's a lot older than me, but he like got me into golf. He was like my big brother. But over the years, it was Kevin Connolly, I think, who played E, who, we're just a little bit closer in age and, big sports guy, we're pretty tight to this day. But I talk to Adrian all the time too. He's a new dad. Like, we're all dads now, which is crazy.
You got to that phase.
That's the best phase.
Of us.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I know a couple things happen, right? Which is crazy. I don't know if anybody know you actually met your wife on the set. Am I correct? From the show itself. Just tell us about that process, because Turtle is Turtle. She knows that character, right? Then you go in there and you meet her as she's dating the agent, Ari himself, right? So how did you guys meet and etc. and formulate this wonderful reunion you guys have?
So I actually co-wrote that episode too. I co-wrote 2 episodes that season. Wow. I started writing for the show. I mean, in a very small way toward the end. There's just always something again I was interested in. And so I wrote some of that stuff. I didn't have any scenes with her. But I did, our paths did cross like in the hair and makeup trailer. But I was always like very professional, especially when women are getting their hair and makeup done. It's like, hey, Jerry, nice to meet you. And I just kept it moving. So I didn't really talk to her much that day. But it wasn't until probably like 6 months later, I was at some friend's birthday party at House of Blues on Sunset Boulevard, right?
Nice.
I just remember I closed my eye, and I lived right over there. And I saw her, and I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her. And I went up to talk to her. I had some corny line about like, like I created you, like your character. Like
I made you.
Yeah, like I stumbled and fumbled. I don't have the same confidence Turtle has. Like Turtle thinks he's the best looking dude in the room. It doesn't really. I'm just kind of like, hey. So we hit it off that night, and honestly, we've been together pretty much ever since.
That's
wild, the exception of that first year was a little, both unsure. But yeah, we've been together for a long time, and people trip out when they see her and then see me. The diehard fans of the show who recognize her, are like, you married him? That's crazy. I'm like, meet our kids. That's even crazier.
That's even crazier. Spee, I know you have a follow-up question right after that, man, because there's a nice little gap in there.
Well, listen, I wondered how life changed for Turtle as you were going through. Like my biggest question is, you were on the set. I don't know if you're a Sopranos fan. Are you a Sopranos fan?
My favorite show of all time.
Of course. So to me, I was wondering. I was like, so this guy was on the set with Tom Brady. Big Giants fan. You'd probably talk some shit to Tom Brady, but he was also. He got to hang out with Jamie Lynn Sigler, and Meadow Soprano for me was huge. So when you went back home, you talked to your boys, who did you brag about more? You got to be Tom Brady, or was it Meadow Soprano that you got to hang out with?
All right, let me figure out how to. I want that really really good question. All right, I'm gonna start with Brady first.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, and to Giant fans out there, you might have heard this story already. If you didn't, it's not that bad, but it definitely hurt my feelings. That episode with Tom Brady, where you know, we play golf and drama breaks his club, that was initially supposed to be, it was written for, per their request, Eli and Peyton Manning. They called us, by the way. We didn't call at that point. This is season 6, so we had like a long list of people who wanted to be on the show. And obviously, if Eli and Peyton call, it's like done. So Doug Ellen wrote that whole episode, and it was the Chase brothers versus the Manning brothers with golf. I think like 2 weeks before, they had to pull out for some reason. I don't know what it was. They called, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure who knows what went on. Everyone was still active at that point too. So, but this is where having like Wahlberg as your executive producer is key, because he's like, oh, you want me to call Tom? And we're all like, who are you talking? Tom and Jerry? Who are you talking about? He's like, Brady. And this was the year, if you remember, Brady was coming off the knee injury. He was out he missed the whole season. It was the Matt Castle year. So no one really seen Brady in a long time. Brady showed up on 2 weeks' notice. Couldn't have been happier to be there. 5 a.m. on the golf course. He's like signing stuff. Not that he needs any more praise, right?
Right.
He was awesome. And but I say that all to say, so when we had to make the switch, I remember being with Doug Ellen in his office while he's changing this whole script around. And then, you know, look, Giant fans don't really have beef with Brady. We're 2-0.
No. We're good.
So
We're good.
Always say like, oh, if Turtle were a Jets fan, it would make a lot more sense. Sure.
Yeah.
We get it. But this is what we got. So I'm in Doug's office. He's trying to figure out now the Turtle beef with Brady. Yeah. And we called one of my buddies, Paul, in Staten Island, who's one of my best friends growing up. Shout out Staten Island. He lives there now. He grew up in Brooklyn.
Right there.
And we call him up and we just put him on speakerphone and ask him, Paul, all right, you're at the Super Bowl. It's the night before. You're at a bar. Tom Brady walks in. What do you say to him? He's like, I just fucking tell him he sucks fucking balls. We were like, thank you very much. Done. Hung up the phone, and that shit went in the script the next day.
That's fantastic.
Props to Brady. Like in the episode, if you remember, you know, I talked shit to him about being too old with it. So that's that. And Jamie Lynn. So I had known Jamie Lynn off and on, like I'd seen her around all the HBO stuff, and she's a New York girl, and she had moved to LA. And I look, Sopranos is literally my favorite show of all time. I want to even say, well, I had a choice. Like before I moved to LA with that $2,000, I had an audition for a very tiny part on The Sopranos. There was like 2 lines for Jackie Jr.
No shit.
And but it like conflicted with my flight. And you know, back then you change a flight, it costs like $1,000. I'm like, I can't. So I skipped the audition and got on the flight. I didn't know that the Jackie Jr. part would become such like a big part. But then, you know, when I heard Jamie was coming on, and it's funny because, you know, my character and her character date on the show. I feel like one of our producers is like, this is such bullshit. Jamie Lynn would never date Turtle. And in real life, we were dating. So it's like,
wow.
Would she though? Would she?
But she's awesome. We still talk, and she's got 2 awesome boys herself, and her husband's amazing. She's awesome. She's great.
That's awesome.
She now does a podcast with her co-star, her sibling,
with Robert Eiler. Yeah, she does a pod. So Sopranos fans, go check that one. I think they're doing some kind of countdown because it's their 25-year anniversary, which is
that's
even crazier.
It's just crazy thinking about how HBO just hit after hit in that little time span, man. And you were part of the wave. You were part of the wave that brought in HBO. It's wild to think about, right? Like,
think about it. One my second, like, it's not even a job, you know, in New York when you're coming up, because now there's a ton of stuff that shoots in New York. Nothing shot, and there's like 3 shows in New York that shot. I was an extra on Oz. I got paid $62 for 17 hours work. And then I was an extra in the pilot episode of Sex in the City.
Wow. So you were the OG.
You were
literally the OG.
In the club. I mean, no lines. You see me for a split second in Limelight. It was a club scene shot in Limelight. I think I might have even left halfway through. I'm like, I can't stay.
They won't even know if I leave.
Right.
And long and behold, he's the star. You know what I mean? Right after that. So let me ask you this, man, because you are a New Yorker, right? When you was out in New York, what was your favorite spot to go to in New York City that you like? You know what, I gotta go have, or at least when you come, you go, I gotta go have this spot when I come to New York City.
Well, I mean, shout outs. The first place always is my mom's kitchen. That's number one.
Of course.
You know,
You're
Italian-
Italian, you
shout out
gotta
to
say
Mom.
that.
Shout out to
Italian
You gotta
chick
say
from
that.
Brooklyn. It was, you know, I get so
Respect
annoyed
is
with my
fair.
kids when my kids ask for like a million things to eat, and I'm like, all right, and then my mom, you could throw out anything. 2 a.m, Mom, can I get some meatballs? Roll them
Quick
up.
to say, yeah, just nailed it.
Perfect.
So
But
she was like your mom in the show.
exactly. I went to a lot of the spots in my neighborhood. There's the pizzeria that was famous in my neighborhood. It's still there. It's called Spumoni Gardens, L&B Spumoni Gardens, which is like, it's, if you know, you know. So I'd always try to go hit that. And I don't know, man, when I came home, I used to miss my friends so much that like I would just make sure I went to all the card games, the AC-Doocy games, and then of course they thought I had a little money in my pocket. Now they couldn't wait to get me at the game, but I kept it real conservative. And I would just hang with my family and my friends and hit like the real local spots. I didn't go into Manhattan and like party all that much. It was never my style. I wanted to be with like the people. And it did help keep me grounded, you know?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can say you're the total opposite of Turtle in real life. Am I correct?
Yes. I mean, pretty opposite. The things we have in common are like loyalty and the sports. And but it was fun playing that guy because, like I said, he has no filter, and all I have is filters. And like I said, he just was like this super confident guy. But the thing I respected most was he genuinely believed that Vincent Chase was the best actor in the world. And we all know he was not. He believed it. And you know, that was fun.
I wonder, do these roles kind of like any bit change you as a person going through in your life? Like, does the Turtle even a little bit change your confidence? Does your person in Power, your actor, when you're doing the acting in Power, does that change you a little bit or not?
Well, Power definitely changed me in a different way. If you want, we can get to that. Like, as far as Entourage, like, it's weird to go from, you know, not having like tons of friends in LA, just moved there, no money. It's now all of a sudden like everybody wants to be your friend. I used to feel like I would disappoint people because fans of the show would roll up. I'm not saying I never went out. I did go out. I did not party and enjoy that as much as you would think. Because also, you're working 60 hours a week. It's not like rolling up to the set and you're like in party mode. It's work. But you know, dudes would come up to me like, "Oh, bro, Turtle, we gotta smoke this joint." I'm like, "Listen, first of all, I got my own. I'm not smoking yours. I don't know what the hell's in that. Laced with angel dust, like Sunday and Friday. You know, it's not happening to me." And like, I just don't. And they'd just be so disappointed. Be like, "What? Like, you're not?" So it definitely made me a little aware. You know, I was never like aware. I'd walk into a place, I'm short, no one knows I'm there, and no one knows I left. And I felt eyeballs on me a little bit. The Power transition was a whole different thing because, you know, people start thinking you could only do one thing, right? Like, oh, you're that guy, and how are you gonna now go do like a drama and stuff like that? And that changed stuff for me.
And Jerry, now, you know, just to say this as well, man, because you worked with Mark Wahlberg. Now you're working with another huge guy in the industry that just came from the successful rapper to this executive producer, 50 Cent, man. Just tell me how it is working with, first, I just want to ask and go back a little bit, with Mark Wahlberg to 50 Cent. Like, just give me the two parallels between those guys there.
Well, Mark was awesome because, you know, I grew up watching his stuff, right? I was a fan. I remember my cousins loving him from New Kids on the Block and Marky Mark days, right? So then knowing like, and also this was early on in Mark's like producing career. Everyone knew he was a movie star, but he hadn't produced a ton of things. This was like his first thing, and it was loosely based on his life. So you did feel like a weight of responsibility. Like, I don't want to screw this up for this guy, you know, not that it would really hurt him that much, but, and then really just seeing how it doesn't matter what level you are, the grind is the grind. Like that dude, and you watch him now, that dude's still jacked. He's still working. He's up at 4 a.m. He says his prayers. He's got a million companies. Like the grind never stopped for him. So it was a good lesson. And then 50 is just, I mean, that dude is just brilliant genius. I'll give you a quick 50 Entourage story. 50 was in Entourage. One of the most famous memes of all time when he laughs at me and speeds away. Right.
Oh,
That part was
nice.
initially written. That cameo was written for Kobe, but Kobe was in season, so Kobe would not do anything in season ever. Obviously, he was too locked in. So and then 50
is so much better though.
better, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember the whole thing is like I'm in the Porsche, right? Or the Ferrari, whatever car. And I got two awesome cars that my daddy and my girlfriend brought me, right? That's the joke. And I forget, we had great cars on the show, but when 50 came on, he's like, I'm not using any of your shit. He sent his own car out from New York to LA. So that's his car in the show that he's rolling, and he shipped out. He's like, I'm driving my car. I don't trust whatever car you're gonna give me. So
just for a quick scene, he wouldn't even just drive and
Nope.
like
no,
Fuck that.
no.
that's a different level. That's a different level right there.
And then I remember when I signed on to start doing Power, I wasn't sure. I knew he was involved and he was playing Kanan, and I know he was the producer, but like Mark was there. But once we got to like season 3 or 4, Mark also has a huge movie crew. Mark wasn't there every day because he couldn't be. And I thought that same thing with 50, but 50 was there. He besides acting, like really put the work in, and that dude's amazing. Like I'm a lucky dude, man. I'm a really lucky guy.
I got a quick question from my boy TK here.
Yep.
Having met and worked with all these A-listers, is there anyone left that because you've had so many cameos on Entourage and probably in your personal life, you've probably met almost everyone. Is there anyone left that you would fanboy out if you met?
That's a really good question. And look, I would still like the Knicks are just I bleed orange and blue. I just do. I talk about with all my guys on like Morning Brew when we do our live shows.
Yeah,
it's
please
like
plug that podcast if you can.
Like I can't help but like talk about Brunson. Like I know some people are like, really? Brunson's the dude that would like blow you away? I'm like, yeah, man, because like he's helping save the Knicks. So, I don't think there's any. I've gotten pretty good at getting rid of that feeling early, meaning like the last thing I would ever want to do when we had these cameos would be to fanboy out and make them totally uncomfortable. Like when we had Eminem on, I was like, nope, gonna play it cool. To the point where he was like, you're not gonna say hello. Like, I wasn't saying hello. I'm like, I'm not kissing this guy's ass.
You should have been like, and you are.
Right. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just like, I just want him to have the most peaceful experience ever.
Right.
And there's definitely some actors I would, freak. I mean, Gandolfini, who I had the pleasure of meeting.
Awesome.
I think I might have been with Jamie one of those nights, and he sort of gave me the like, you better be good with her. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. That's my favorite actor of all time. So I was freaking out when I met him. But now it would probably be golf, maybe like Tiger. I would probably freak out for because I'm a giant golfer. So it's tough though. I've met a lot of dudes.
You've met everybody.
The whole world. I've met the whole world.
Everybody.
Have fun. What you got, brother?
Why don't we? Well, I have a question real quick, and then maybe we can get to our special guest question. We got a backstage special guest friend of ours that's going to ask you a quick question.
All right, shout out to TK who said AC Ducey for courtside tickets. That's a good one. I like that one. The answer is no, but that's a great one.
I played that's like my best friend. We've played AC Ducey since high school, and we've just seen people get so screwed over in that game. So like what you said is. I completely believe $1,000 is a lot. I never seen anybody lose that much. We don't throw around that kind of money. But I've seen people have to leave and go to the ATM and come back. Just like it's bad.
Someone there, one of the older guys did tell me like to pot. I wasn't gonna pot it. I remember he said pot it. I'll split it with you. And then when I lost, he went out the back door. If you're listening, I know I'll never forget that. I'm not gonna drop your name, but I remember.
Like you son of a bitch.
No, but my quick question is, you're such a good actor and so believable in everything you do. I'm wondering if your wife knows when you're acting, at home, like when you're full of shit with her, does she call you out immediately, or do you sometimes get away with it?
I don't even think that she calls me out. I think she just is like, it's like a look. I just get a look.
If you married the right person, they know. They're like,
it's not even like, hey, you're lying. It's like, okay. That's all I get. And like, no, she saw, I got nothing left for her. She She knows all my moves. She's the ninja. Like I just like I'm never getting past that level of the video game.
She's one step ahead of you.
So-
Exactly.
So speaking of that too, I think you put out a tweet not too long ago where your wife actually brings her coffee mug into her vehicle, like a kitchen appliance into the car. Just tell the people, man. One, I told my wife today, I was like, you better not bring any type of dishes in that car. Like I had to tell her. So just tell me how much, man, does that piss you off or what, man? Tell the people, man, what's going on? If nobody
First
knows
off,
about this tweet.
I've never seen this in my life.
It happened.
And then and the first time I saw it was like 5 years ago. We were visiting her family and her mom did it. And I was like, that's kind of weird. She brought a kitchen ceramic coffee mug in the car, no lid, but just like a napkin over it. I'm like, wow.
Crazy. That's crazy.
It's
And maybe like
behavior.
Brooklyn, New Yorkers, like our cars, like you get the shit clean. It's like you want
Yeah,
it clean,
right,
no
right,
matter
right.
what you're
Yeah.
driving, it's
Yep.
clean. Like
Right.
Day Day says in Friday After Next, like they're not 20s, but I keep them clean.
Keep it clean though. Keep it clean.
And so I didn't really now all these years she never really did it. And then the other day we're taking her and she brings in a ceramic coffee mug. She's like, yeah, I do this all the time. And I go look in her car and there's like ceramic mugs on the floor.
Oh,
So I'm like, you're a serial killer. That's like serial killer shit.
That's dangerous behavior. Right there.
And I put it on Instagram. I got like hundreds of thousands of views. And believe it or not, a lot of people on Instagram said they do it too.
Yeah,
That's
my wife does
crazy.
the same.
My wife does it. And it's
a
funny because
thing.
I've had this conversation with her and she says she doesn't have time. And I'm like, it takes
For
13
what?
seconds
It's a Yeti.
for this to go like
You
this.
just go like this.
That's it. You do a million things in the morning. Add
Reach
one
for the
more.
cup.
Just the way you pour it in the ceramic mug, you pour it in the other mug.
It's wild. bro.
Yeah,
It's
So then
That's
everyone
wild.
said
crazy.
to me, like, get your wife a Yeti. And then I posted a follow-up video. We have 15.
Yeah, all the
Yeti
Yetis.
and
No.
Stanley. I lined them
I
up.
saw the
and
lineup,
And I did a dolly shot. Like, we got Yetis. You think we don't have Yetis? We have them.
Just don't use them, right? But you know what, guys? Of course, man, we got a special question for one of the fans of yours, man. Like I said, we want to open up our platform. This is the people's platform, man.
Yes,
Without
yes.
them, there will be no Jerry here. So we want to open up the
Nice.
floor to the guys. Hey, he got a very great question for you. This is Smooth, our brother Smooth. What's going on, Smooth?
Smooth.
What's up, guys? How we
Yeah,
doing?
buddy.
What's
on?
going
This
on,
shirt.
brother?
I didn't even do this
Hey,
on purpose.
look at us. Did we plan this?
What?
Whoa,
Look at
whoa,
this.
whoa.
Ah, let's go.
Are you shitting me?
Wow.
Now,
I hope
now
you don't
you-
bring coffee mugs in your car.
Nah, I retweeted yours and was like, no excuses. That's all them. All them
My
comes.
man. My man.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, just quick backstory. I'm a huge fan. I moved out to LA almost the same time as you. I'm a year younger than you. In 2003, I was 21, and I also lived with three guys who lived in Sherman Oaks. And so when Entourage came out, we had one guy who was in the industry who was acting, trying to get involved. He was on like Las Vegas, LAX, all these random shows. And he was like, dude, this new show's coming out. Everyone's going to love it. So obviously we were all into it. So just that's where that story comes from. So I appreciate you. You're one of, I love all your work. But
I
Entourage
worked at a restaurant and I worked at Stanley's in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
So you probably know that spot.
I know that spot.
Restaurant circuit.
So my question to you is Entourage based. Could Doug Allen, like we know that it's a comedy, but it had some dramatic elements, you know, season 6 in particular with Vince and having his drug problems and stuff like that. Could you make the show today the exact same way you did back then? You know what I mean? Times have changed. Would there be language differences? You know, there's a lot of things that have gone on culturally. I'm just curious from your perspective.
So if we're saying like, all right, we're doing like the time machine thing, but we're bringing 23-year-old me and
Yes.
30-year-old Dylan back to now, and we're young, like that same, we're the same ages. Probably no.
I was
I'm
thinking the
just being
same.
honest,
You have to
know,
reword some stuff.
Although I do
Yeah.
think maybe now, like definitely not like a year, 2-3 years ago, but maybe now as things start to like settle a little bit, but no, honestly, not that way. There'd just be a lot of differences. You could make it, you just have to do a lot of different things. And yeah, that's what, you know, and look, I watch if I've seen episodes, you know, or catch a clip or something, like there's some shit, that you say back then that you definitely wouldn't say
Right.
now. I mean, the spirit was always in the sense of comedy. And look, back then, especially if you follow stand-up, and stand-up still is kind of like holding on to like saying and just trying to be funny. you did that with comedy and with TV. Like you push the boundaries. Some things work, some things don't. You're gonna offend some people, but like we're not saying these are our beliefs, right? Like these are fake people. This is not a real show. And I guess like to Entourage's credit, people thought like I've seen it. Believe me, people were bummed out when they would ask me like, "Yo, where's Vince?" I'd be like, "You know we don't live together, right?" Like, "Where's your dog?" I'm like, "That dog's name is Rocky, and he has a trainer. His name's not Arnold." So you know, I think I think maybe now you could maybe start to like have that conversation, but I do think it would be really tough. It would be really, really tough. And I think that's also you started seeing even when the movie came out, you know, the movie did okay. It didn't do what we all thought it would do, and it definitely didn't pull in those like casual fans. All the diehard fans saw it. It didn't really pull in casual fans. So, but you know what? All these shows like Sopranos we talked about, even shows like The Wire, you know, like they're time capsules, right?
Yeah.
Whether you love that time or hate that time, that's up to you. But this is how people were rolling. And so it's like a time capsule.
So true.
So true what you said,
you, man. I have one more quick one, and then you guys let me go or hang out, whatever. So you obviously have lost a lot of weight. Could the turtle from seasons 1 through 7 win a fight against Slim Turtle in the finale? Who wins that fight?
Oh man, what a good question.
Different weight classes you're talking.
Well, and I'm not nearly in that. Look, I'm in like dad bod shape now. Like if you talk about me 5 years ago, $150, like ripped, strong. I think I smartly whipped Turtle's ass.
you would outlast
because you know I just wear them out. Yeah, I just like wear them out. But when I was 23 or 24, 203, I was a beast because I had a low center of gravity. So if I got me in the clench,
you could be a problem. You could be a problem.
And I had an older brother who beat my ass from birth. So 23, I'm fresh out of Brooklyn. I'm a little more afraid of things now. Like my goal is to never ever get into a fight. I was down for some smoke at 23, so it'd be a great fight. I'd be a great fight. I think I outlast him in the later rounds if I could survive the first round. I think
right, exactly.
Which turtle has this mentality? Which turtle would have this mentality? There is no tomorrow.
Shit. All I think about is tomorrow now. I'll do it tomorrow. So young turtle, young chubby turtle definitely was like, there is no tomorrow.
Talk. And
Thank you
so much, man. I do appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
That was great,
man. Nice, man.
Eli, you got a little game here, huh?
So listen, man, we do this with all the guests. We kind of come up with a game for you guys, have just a tad bit of fun. We call this game Proctor and Turtle. It's kind of like Procter and Gamble, a little play on words, right? A little play on words. So what this game is, we're going to give you some of your co-stars or the people that you worked with, or just people around the industry, and you want to give what character can hang out with these particular people that you have played. So either Joe Proctor or Turtle can fit in well with these guys. So I'm gonna throw you some names, and you just tell me if it's Joe Proctor or Turtle that can hang out with these guys. But I'm gonna go with Joseph Sikora. Who will be the best person to fit with Joseph Sikora?
All right, not Tommy, because obviously Proctor and Tommy don't really. I wouldn't at all.
Exactly.
I think Joe would think Turtle's funny and would hang with Turtle. He would like Proctor too, but it's just so hard for me to even say Joe and Proctor. Like, so I'm gonna go Turtle. I think Joe would think Turtle's funny.
That's fire. The next person we got here, of course, is Mr. Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent himself, the real life 50 Cent Curtis Jackson here. Which one would be the best person to hang out with him as far as character?
I think Proctor for sure. Because I think Turtle probably owe 50 money, and we all know you don't want to do that. It's not a good life choice. So I think Proctor would be smart enough to know, like, don't borrow no money from him, and we're just gonna hang out. So Proctor,
he's a business guy too. Yeah.
So that means you're not gambling with 50 Cent at all. You gotta all right, sit him.
Put it this way, and even me, Jerry, like if we went to dinner, if that dude picks up a check, I'm like, oh man,
he owns me now.
He's gonna put me on his Instagram on Monday, but no, we're good.
Say no more. And of course, you got Mark Wahlberg, man. Which one?
I mean, Turtle for sure, only because
this guy.
he had guys like that in his crew. There really was a Johnny Drama. Turtle was based on a lot of different guys, but there really was an actual Johnny Drama.
Oh, he actually had a dude that he nice.
Johnny Alves' name, they called him Drama, who was his trainer and who was ripped and used to call his abs the Hollywood Squares and would pick up his shirt. You like see the Hollywood Squares? So Turtle for sure.
All right, cool. How about Latrell Sprewell? You're a big Knicks fan, man. So we got to know Latrell Sprewell.
Because you might need a lawyer, but he also loves the sport.
He's had some
I'm gonna say Proctor, but not even because and I've met Sprewell before, nicest guy ever. So
nice.
But I'm gonna say Proctor because I just feel like Turtle would be too immature at this point and would piss Sprewell off.
Nicest guy ever is a strong phrase.
I mean, he was the nice guy. PJ Carlissimo would disagree.
Not so much to the coaches, right?
PJ Carlissimo would disagree. Yeah.
Shout out Latrell. You know what? I'm gonna ask this one last person here, Wink Martindale, because I know you're a Giants fan too. Wink Martindale,
relevant.
Former Giants defensive player.
He may need to get out of a contract right now.
Might need a lawyer.
Might need a lawyer.
Yeah, but you know what? I just feel like Wink and Turtle, that's like a thing. I don't know. I just feel like Turtle, as a Giants fan, would probably be super sour at the ending, but I feel I feel like Wink would tell Turtle, I'm leaving. And then Turtle would definitely try to scoop Glazer and tweet it out.
Yeah.
Just report Wink Martindale. Shout out Jay Glazer, one of my good friends. Never wrong. When Jay Glazer puts something out, you gotta believe
nails it, bro.
Nails it. He's not in the volume business. He's in the quality business. He's never wrong.
I respect that.
I agree.
Hey, quick
let me say this too.
Hold on.
The weekly Precious.
Thank you for being on the revival. We do thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Precious, I'm happy to be here. And yes, it's nice talking to everybody tonight.
Awesome, man. So I just want to say this, and then this is Precious. She is my sister, actually, man. That's the support. She does this every week. She does this every week. She shows us love. She doesn't have to, and I do appreciate you so much. And thank you. I love you, Press. You know that. But I just want to say this, of course, Jerry, man, because you got a brand new podcast, man, that seems to be doing so well, man. So I just want you to tell the people about the Morning Brew Sports, man, the Knicks podcast every Wednesday night at and the AMs in the morning. So just tell people about how that came about, man, and what it's about for sure.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm like a sort of hired gun in a way. Those guys have been killing it for a while now. And it's Morning Brew. It's all live shows on YouTube, similar to live like we are right now, but they specialize in New York sports, right? So like the Yankee stuff that they put out, the Jet stuff, which I used to just love to troll them, but then I really fell in love. Like we were talking earlier, it's like, yeah, as much as I love Stephen A and all those legends, we'll call them legends, will be nice, right? But it's clear when Stephen A. Smith says, what's the guy's name? Hartenstein? You're not watching the games. And I get it. You're busy. You could probably only watch the ESPN game because you're probably on set doing the halftime show. So,
he's doing a million things.
These guys really I became friendly with my man Celso Porto, who kind of runs the show over there along with Hector and his brother Phil Porto. And I just love the way they were talking about the Knicks. I love the live format. That's why, too, when you guys are like, come on live, I'm like, to me, this is, I love recorded podcasts. I've been doing that since 2013. But this space, to me, is really how you could actually connect with people. I felt this connection with the Knicks fans. So I'm not on every show. They go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. on YouTube. I go on the Wednesday show, and they do something cool. Like you just brought up, Smooth, Fridays are all open panel days.
Yes.
They just and to me, as a radio guy, I grew up listening to WFAN, right? That's what I used to record it on my boombox. And then that's what I would listen to at night to go to sleep because I didn't have a TV in my room when I was young. So what you just did, even with Smooth, that's the new call-in,
Yes.
I mean, WFAN will be there forever and it's an institution, but that kind of stuff, that's the new call-in on the radio show. And I think it's even cooler because you put a face to it and you really get to know these people. So I've just been having a blast with them. Morning Brew, man. They're growing quickly too. Yeah. So I think
the world now.
I don't know, man. I was in the middle of also a strike. We had a SAG strike and a Writers Guild union strike. It was 7 months. And I'm like, the Giants hurt me so bad by like week 5.
Yeah.
At the moment the basketball season started, it just like it breathed new life into me because the Giants were just absolutely breaking my heart.
Totally agree. And Spee, I know you got some Nick questions, man. Let's roll with them.
Hey, well, so we were talking about Anunoby before, so let's get into it. The trade. Were you a Barrett guy? How you feeling about the trade off the bat, and how you feeling about it now?
I am a Barrett guy because like I'm a sucker for
Quickly
like,
too
homegrown talent, right? And quickly as well. Like I love the Yankees World Series win in 2009, but those 96, 90, like those wins with Jeter, Pettit, Posada, Rivera, obviously, like the homegrown talent, Bernie Williams. Like, I don't know. I just, as a kid, that I followed those guys my whole life. So I'm into that. And I know everyone jumps teams now and it's a business. I get it. So I was sad for that because I really wanted to see where it was going to go. But it really is the rare situation where both teams may have won big. Because I think Toronto didn't want draft picks. They want players. They got players and a pick. And I think the Knicks need a guy. If Randall and Brunson, who I think are 28 and 29, or soon to be 28 and 29, respectively, if you are going to bet on them, because everyone keeps saying the Knicks got to get a star. What star? Who are you waiting? Who are you waiting on? Anthony Edwards isn't coming. What star are you talking about? Shay's not coming. Like, you want Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant doesn't want to come, and I don't even know if the Knicks fans want him. Who's coming? Anthony Davis? These are our guys. So if you want to get on that timeline and bet on them, it's really hard to have those two players with another player or two who need the ball.
Yes.
And when you look at OG Anunoby, who's having a great game scoring tonight, he could affect the game so much without needing 17 shots.
Absolutely.
Without having to pound the ball. And like, I'm not saying this puts the Knicks in the championship conversation yet. I would still like them to bolster the quickly minutes from the bench. I'm like Rozier comes to mind. Jordan Clarkson comes to mind. I know even tonight they're playing the Blazers. I'm looking at Malcolm Brogdon like what you see?
I heard that rumor.
So, but man, this is the best it's been. I think maybe even since like 99. I love the 2013 Melo team. Yeah, but that seems top
different. Heavy. I think OG is just a better fit, man. And RJ, maybe RJ just breaks into his own at some point because he's in Canada now. Who knows? But this fit right now, it seemed like it was a good move for, like you said, for both teams. Quickly, you weren't going to sign Quickly. They were going to sign OG. So it kind of worked out for both. You're right.
And now we still might be able to re-sign Hartenstein, who's playing great. And, Robinson's injury scares me. Anytime a 7-footer gets like screws in his foot, you got to be a little. And I feel terrible because that guy is busting his ass and was having a tremendous season. So
brutal.
I think it's a little bit of insurance because now they might have enough money. They would never have been able to sign Quickly and Hartenstein. That wasn't going to happen. And who knows? They're going to have to give OG a deal too. So, but either way, I love where we're at. And,
you're climbing up the standings, man. Climbing up the standings.
Start beating some of these, the Bostons, and we beat Philly the other night.
Yes.
That was big.
Playoffs. I just want playoff games.
That's it.
My Knicks fans, I talk to the community all the time, and I love you. I am you. But sometimes it's like now we're like championship thirsty, where it's like you're gonna be happy with a second round exit. I'm like, second round exit? Do you realize what we've been talking about for 10 years?
Take second round.
And now you're pissed at Leon Rose for a second round exit? Shut up. Come on.
For real.
Yes, I want to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but give me a break. Last year was just a dream. I went to game 2. Knicks Miami courtside. It was a dream come true.
Oh my God, bro. So we got to shout out. Sorry, we got to shout out Curlin. Curlin Pad, thank you. Great show. We got people just chiming in left and right here.
In case you didn't know, Jerry on Wednesdays is a must watch from your boy.
Must watch.
By the way, there's the man right there.
He's on the pod, right?
He's very biased.
His show,
but he's also must watch too. And that dude busts his ass real hard, and it's working.
So go for all our listeners, everyone checking in. Go check out that podcast on Wednesdays,
please.
Yes.
All the Knicks.
And let me say this too, man, because you're a Giants fan as well, right? So we kind of seen what well let's just go with it. We're gonna rip the band-aid off. We're gonna throw you into the fire because
Let's
you know the
go.
community and you know it well, right? Daniel Jones comes in, 6 overall pick, shows flashes that he's good. The next minute he hits rock bottom when he has different coaches. Then he takes us to the playoffs within the 5 years that he's here. So you on cloud 9, and now Daniel Jones is out injured again. It's been an up and down roller coaster, but we have something that we call DJ truthers. Then we got DJ naysayers, the extremists, all right? But let's just get your thoughts and opinion on our quarterback situation of Daniel Jones. Good luck.
Well, I have to treat this like almost like a sobriety meeting. Like, hi, my name is Jerry, and I am
Why has it from that, dude? I don't know.
I am a DJ truther.
All right.
Hi,
If
Jerry.
anyone is out on the ledge who's gonna have probably 150 tweets thrown back in their face, it's me.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it, though.
I respect it.
You know, I definitely was a little freaked out on draft night when they took him because I really did believe I was happy that they drafted him. I just thought we could have got him later, but I did not rush to the judgment. I kind of said similarly like Porzingis when everybody killed that pick for the Knicks. It's like, look,
Right.
I gotta watch tape. I didn't watch a whole lot of Duke games, and then I did. I'm like, look,
Not many did.
I think it's a good pick, and I am a firm believer. If that's your guy, then go get him. Like, don't
Conviction.
play the game
Yep.
of like, we can maybe wait till 18 and just go get him if that's the guy.
Right.
And I like what I saw early. If you remember with oh God,
Pat Shermer?
so many. Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So many
I got you,
coaches
brother.
and coordinators.
So many coaches.
Yeah.
With Shermer, there was numbers there, and then it's been all over
Uh.
the map. Last year, I thought he was coached perfectly, and we saw the potential. Still don't even think he was like elite level yet, but we know quarterbacks are not a dime a dozen anymore. Like you're not going anywhere without a quarterback. This season was just a disaster. I don't put it all on him, and that might be the truther in me. But I think by the end, he had PTSD. Like he just,
Yes.
like, where's the? I mean, because I love Tyrod Taylor, and that dude deserves a shot somewhere. Clearly, he can play. And when you watch some of the other quarterbacks, what do we have? 68 quarterbacks to play this year, or something like
something
that.
wild like that.
This year
About
was
70,
crazy.
but who's counting? Who's counting? 70,
But
but
the
who's
thing
counting?
that stood out was how he was going down the field in vertical. And Daniel Jones, at some point, maybe because he didn't have the time in the beginning, or maybe he can't, we'll find out. Maybe he just can't, was not going vertical at all. And then even when you see DeVito start going a little vertical, it's like, well, maybe the receivers don't suck, you know, maybe they're not great, but maybe they could play. And Justin Pugh certainly came on and like just, you know, died trying to help that offensive line.
Well said.
So I get scared of the knee injury now. And this is the first time ever where I genuinely don't know what the Giants are going to do with this draft. I could believe 3 different versions.
Right.
I could believe like they just take a quarterback at 6 and move on. I could believe they trade down and still take a quarterback later and look, or they go offensive line and say Daniel Jones will be back in training camp in August. I don't know. I don't know, but I still believe in Daniel Jones. I more so wonder now, mentally, can you recover from that season? Because I just feel like confidence, everything just destroyed.
And especially the ACL thing. There is like a mental component when guys come back from that. It takes a long time to get your edge back, and it's a big part of his game. And what makes him dangerous is like those read options where he can take off. And if he doesn't have that part of his game or that confidence for a while, on top of already looking mentally a little bit shook because the O-line was so bad, like it's just a lot going against him, which is pretty
not
much
to mention the neck injuries.
It's been his that's been his career. His career has
He's
been a
beat
lot
up
against him. So it's gonna be tough. But I feel you on like one thing you said is like I don't know what the Giants can do now.
I really don't know how they play it.
I put out a rant today because I just don't see the vision right now of how are they going to give us hope going into this season, unless they do something crazy and non-Giants like and trade up to the number 1 pick and get the best quarterback in the country. Other than that, what can they do to be like, okay, we're good, we're on the right path?
Here's the scary thing, and I don't know how you guys feel. I've like studied this and tried to figure out like there's got to be a smarter person than me who knows the formula. But I mean, how many of these first overall picks have panned out and have been slam dunks, right?
Yeah.
It varies. So if the variance of top 5 quarterbacks, it just, and look, Obviously, we know if you mess up your offensive line first round picks, that sets you back pretty far. We've
Yeah.
watched it in real time with the
Yes,
Giants,
we did.
but we've
Yes,
also
we did.
watched with the Jets. If you screw up your quarterback first round picks, that's decades of
Gets you fired.
stuff.
Gets people fired, man.
You know, so I to tell you what, I definitely don't want to screw up the quarterback pick if we do take a quarterback. And how are you supposed to know? You even look at last year, it's like, I don't know. I guess this year it's yes, it's Caleb, and it's pretty clear that that's the choice. And I don't think you get fired for taking him and it doesn't work out. But go through it. You got like Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, but you know,
Jury's
this
still
year,
out,
and I
yeah.
know he played hurt, but definitely not the greatest follow-up season.
Yeah.
You look at Zach Wilson, Darnold, Stroud, like it's like it feels like a coin flip, and it makes me uncomfortable.
It feels like that with any position, like anywhere you
Yeah.
draft. It like guys can, I should say guys can bust anywhere, but
Facts. It's true.
A family show, it's a family show, people.
it's not. It's
Well,
not.
listen.
No,
In the
don't worry.
end, it's about trusted Dable, right? If Dable has, like you said earlier, about conviction. If Dable has conviction, if they had conviction in Daniel Jones, go get him. If they have conviction in someone, I'm gonna fuck with them. I'm gonna be like, okay, let's go. Let's. You have conviction in this guy. You think you can develop him? I'm in. But again, like you said, they can go tackle, they can go edge, they could go wide receiver, they could go anyway. You know, so
I know, right?
it'll be
Yeah, like
interesting.
you know, is Harrison there? He probably won't be, but like if for some reason he were, it's like,
Could be.
God, that
Hard
has
to
so much,
pass.
even just as a value pick of like what you could move that
6.
player for, you know.
Yeah.
It's different because picks are one thing, but then when you're actually staring at the player, like, oh, this guy made it to 6. It changes.
Right.
Did you guys play the game? I'm sure you did. Like, and I think it was right around when we started getting into like the Cowboy games in the first E, where it's like, man, if we just beat Buffalo like we should,
All
have,
time.
Oh,
All
dude.
time.
and if we really
Yeah.
just held on versus the Jets, like we won that game.
Me and
It's
Spiro
like,
were at that game. That was brutal. That was just you
Yeah.
can't lose that game.
Brutal.
I think it was going into the Seattle game. Like we would have been in such prime shape. I did that so many times this year, but then it played out, and you know, I don't think DeVito was gonna get us
No,
there.
it was fun though.
Tyrod looked good. Like that dude throws a great deep ball, and
He does.
that really is the most glaring thing with Daniel Jones. It's like, why weren't you doing that? Because he's doing it, and the offensive line isn't great. You know, you guys
It
didn't.
sucked all year. It sucked all year. Let's be honest.
Right.
Like, that line was historically bad.
You didn't go sign Orlando Pace and bring him back, and just
Right.
like, now all of a sudden we got Orlando Pace. This is great.
Nice throwback, man. Nice throwback.
Let me say this too, because this is also a big conversation within the Giants community, right? Are we in or are we out on Saquon Barkley? If you're the GM, let's play Joey. Joey, you're the GM. You got a chance to sign Saquon or let him walk. What would you do? It was a tough one.
You gotta really.
You didn't have to stress him out, man. We're just trying to have a good time.
I say sign. It's hard because if I say don't sign, it's not because I'm like, well, we don't need Saquon. Bullshit.
Yeah,
The guy's awesome,
yeah.
but it's like he's gonna cost a lot of money. We got a lot of holes to fill. So I'm sad about it, but also I do think I get emotional with these players. That dude deserves to be on a team that really has a chance. And I thought coming into the season, the Giants did. There's just too many holes. So big part of me saying, let him go. If you love him, he'll come back.
That's exactly what me and he said.
We said that. We said that.
But it's by no means is it because like I don't think he's good enough to deserve that money. I just think that we probably need to take that money and fill 3 spots with it.
Yes.
Is my early opinion. But I love Saquon. He's one of my favorite Giants ever. One of.
He's the ultimate guy you would want to have like your team's uniform on. Like just a great dude, phenomenal player. But like it's a bad sign if you're relying that heavily on a running back too. But we definitely can't, like our offense. You hear like Micah Parsons has a podcast. In the offseason when Saquon didn't get his deal, he came out and he was like, "Are you kidding me? Saquon is all we worry about." Like I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
The number one first day, like the game plan is stop Saquon. So
and look, I think what you could see with him if he does go to another team, the kind of level he is. You saw what McCaffrey did with the Niners, right? The minute that happened, if he goes to the Ravens, or I don't even want to say the Steelers. Definitely don't want to say the Cowboys. I hope it's no one in the NFC
No,
East.
no.
You know, if he goes to the Bengals, not that he would sign, but we're at like one of those teams that's like, this is a good team. They have some bad luck at times. He goes there and it turns into the 49ers.
You see, true. Right. Also, okay, so switching from players to coach, is Dable your guy? Is he your guy? Okay.
I don't got a sigh on this one. I don't got to think about it.
No stress.
I know the second year stresses that happen. I watched it in Cleveland with like Stefanski wins coach of the year, and then next season they want to kill him. And then now he's won 11 games with 900 quarterbacks, and Joe Flacco is alive and well. So for me, Dable proved it to me like last season against the Titans. What was that, week 1 when he went forward for 2? And you clearly saw like this guy's going to be a problem for people. This season was a mess, so it's noted. But like, come on, the people who are saying Dable's job is that is
I hated that.
Crazy.
I hated that talk midseason. I want to see him I do want to see him maybe get his own quarterback and develop the guy. Like, because I think he got the most out of pretty much the 3 quarterbacks he had with DJ last year. He made DeVito serviceable for a few weeks. And Tyrod Taylor,
I thought Taylor looked good.
He looked good. He did.
Same.
So
yeah, I'm with you. So I do think like that's why it does to me seem like if anything, they draft a quarterback or they trade back and they get into a position where they know they get 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah, DJ's still going to play next year. He's getting paid a lot of money. If he's healthy, I still believe he'll start, and he should start even if they draft a rookie. Let him take. There's no reason to rush a rookie, especially when DJ's making all that money. So let him start. I don't want to say get beat up by that line, but the line's not going to automatically be elite all of a sudden next year either. So roll it out that way and see what you got.
Yeah, and I thought Dable was also classy, no matter like all the shit that went on. Like and it did feel like he lost the locker room at some point. At least that's what we were being told.
It was very close.
And I don't know if it was DeVito or Saquon or Dable or someone. It definitely felt like DeVito united them. So we all owe DeVito a big thank you. So
he gave us a spark in the middle of a lifeless season.
Completely lifeless. But I'm a Dable guy, so it's gonna take a lot more for me to be like, oh, we gotta get off this coach.
I don't want to do that every other year. Also,
no,
I still like Dable.
I agree. And Jerry, let me ask you this too, man, because I think it'd be awesome to ask this, and it's gonna feel great. It's gonna feel bad, but it's a 2-parter here. I just want to know what is your most memorable Giants memory that you have, and what was the worst? Because I have a worst too. But what is your worst, and what is your great? And we'll start with the worst and end with the high.
Yeah, good idea.
Just give me your 2 Giant memories, bad and good.
I think my worst is the Deshaun Jackson.
Damn, that's mine too. That is so mine. I think it's the
Deshaun Jackson punt return because it's like, why are you even kicking to him? It's like the only thing that could kill you.
Mad dodge, man.
That's one of those things you remember where you were. Like
I was in the stadium.
By the way,
you were there.
Fun story. I was in the stadium taking a piss because I thought, no way. We're going OT. Let me get my piss in before and then come back for OT. As I was walking in, my buddies were walking towards me, towards the exit, and I saw the look on their faces. And I didn't actually see the punt return. That's the funny part.
Better off.
That's definitely one of the worst. I mean, there's been a few bad ones, but that's one of the worst. I also was like heartbroken. I was at the preseason game when they thought it was a great idea to have Sehorn run back kickoffs, and he blew out his ACL. We left. Me and my uncle left. And he was like my favorite player at that point, so that sucked too. My favorite, I mean, obviously, like everything Patriots Super Bowl is my favorite, but to get really specific, the one that stands out the most. This is probably one of the best day in my childhood ever. I think I was 9 years old when the Giants beat the Niners when Leonard Marshall knocked Montana out of the game, 1990 NFC Championship game, leading to the Super Bowl. But that NFC Championship game, because I'm 9 years old, I was really, it was the first year where like I was watching football and I knew what was happening. I was like on it. I understood everything. I was following. I knew the players. I watched every game. I was watching in my basement with the same uncle took me to the Sehorn game. He had like a low ceiling basement. When they kicked the field goal to win, he jumped up so high his head went through the basement.
Shoot.
And we were so jacked up that night. He had 3 daughters. He like kind of helped raise me. And he was like, I'm taking all you kids to a movie. Let's go. We saw Home Alone that night in theaters.
Oh, what a night.
So I went from
What a
like
night.
Giants NFC Championship game, win. We're going to the
Best
Super
night
Bowl.
ever.
I'm going to go see Home Alone in theaters. Greatest night of my life as a kid.
That's
Let's
awesome,
go.
dude. What a combo.
And
I mean,
that's
that's
like, that memory always sticks out for me.
Oh, that's
That's
dope.
awesome.
That's dope, man.
And guys, that was great, man.
Thank
And
you
we're
so much,
towards the
Jerry.
end of the show. Jerry, just hang out just a little bit. We'll sign the people off and hang out backstage because we want to talk to you. We do something for our guests, so we just want to let you know. But guys, I just want to say thank you, everyone that donated their time. Shout out to Precious and my cousin as well donated. I know I saw you. Shout out to you guys.
Chris,
thank you for all
Tuto.
Yep.
We saw you out there, Ted.
We see everyone. Thank you so much for the support. I do appreciate you guys. Shout out to the Revivalists. Shout out to you making this happen. Jerry is on our show. Thanks to you. Yes, you. And hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And on behalf of my brothers, man, you guys know who this is. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full of Nets. Speed, if you nasty now. Might as well cross out crazy. And my brother El Jefe, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, aka Damn It Daniel, and of course my guy here, Jerry, man. Of course, Turtle and Joe Proctor in the building, man. Make sure y'all go to support the podcast as well. And shout out to you. We see you on the next one. Peace and blessings.
Eli Rax, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the Revival.